When I first met my friend Gustor 10 years ago, he was a popular Islamic leader in Indonesia. Now he's the president, and I'm staying with him at the palace. Gustor's real name is Aburahman Wahid, but everyone calls him Gustor.
Seorang terus. You know that there are four presidents. The first one is crazy about women. The second one is crazy about fortune. The third one is truly crazy. The fourth one, myself, is driving people crazy. I like it.
You know, to this?
Yeah.
It's people's concern, eh?
Yeah.
That's why they give those things.
Yeah.
Gustor was on his way to visit the notorious Special Forces unit, Kopassus.
Rompi Tuna 1. Betul.
Gustor was the first democratically elected president Indonesia's ever had. For 30 years, the country was ruled by General Suharto and the army.
Iya, silakan. Iya, tahu. Iya.
He's been president for only a few months, and the army is still very powerful and reluctant to hand over the reins of power. The Kopassus Special Forces played a major role in maintaining Suharto's dictatorship. Gustor has suffered 2 strokes and is virtually blind. Now he faces the biggest challenge of his life, the removal of the army from their long domination of Indonesian society.
Itu kebetulan tidak sama dengan negeri-negeri lain, tapi paling tidak kebetulan itu merupakan sesuatu yang nyata. Itu yang kita bersama-sama menyelesaikan hal yang baik melalui perundingan-perundingan, melalui perbincangan-perbincangan, dan melalui musyawarah-musyawarah. Dengan cara inilah kita akan menyelesaikan masalah kita, bukan dengan kontok-kontokan, dengan kelahi satu sama lain, dan tidak juga dengan retorika yang terlalu digeneralisir, terlalu dibuat umum.
The Kopassus Special Forces, like the rest of Indonesia's military, was under the leadership of former President Suharto's top general, General Wiranto. Wiranto led the army during the sacking of East Timor, after it had voted for its independence from Indonesia. To avoid a confrontation with the army, Gustor has appointed General Wiranto to his cabinet as Minister for Political and Security Affairs. Under the command of General Wiranto, the army moved more than 100,000 East Timorese across the border into West Timor, where many still live in refugee camps. Shanana Gusmao has come to see Gustor to talk about the fate of these refugees. He was the commander of the East Timorese guerrilla forces. He was captured by the Indonesian army and kept in a Jakarta jail for several years. Now he's the leader of the soon-to-be independent nation of East Timor.
We are still in a good faith, thinking about the future, about the present and about the future.
Yes. You know what they say? That we have now two goose, Tidur and goose mau.
Kita masalah penyusi, pertama kita mau masalah ini sudah diselesaikan. Kedua juga menurunkan beban untuk Indonesia.
Oh iya, beban iya.
Kita dengar bahwa di mana atau mantan kita nggak tahu juga dan milisi, kalau mereka menyasar sedikit itu mereka punya tindakan yang lain. Di mana nggak ada, mereka semua carinya mau pulang.
Mereka takut, Pak. Mereka takut itu tadi yang dari orang-orang liar itu kan.
Ya.
Dan mereka bisa membunuh. Kalau saya dari awal sudah berpendirian, orang itu bebas. Mau apa itu betul-betul bebas lah ya. Mau tinggal di Timur silakan. Ya, dan nanti kita bantulah bagaimana caranya supaya bisa tinggal di Timur. Lalu yang memang dia tidak merasa at home, ya tidak ada masalah. Tapi jangan pernah dipaksa orang.
Have our support, respect and affection.
Thank you.
Gusto raised a few eyebrows by going out to the airport to see Janana off. After all, the loss of East Timor is still bitterly resented by many Indonesians, especially the military.
You know, this shows how rigid our military people are. Because Gusmau's plane, you see, it's not allowed to land at the military airport, but here in Jakarta.
Actually, some parliamentarians are not quite happy by going to see him off.
They don't decide policies. We cannot please everybody. We have to, to act according to the need. Yeah? The need now is to find some, let's say, a common platform between the Australians, the East Timorese, and the Indonesians.
think all presidents should sing when they're under stress. Most of the time, you'd never know Gusto was facing endless national catastrophes and conflicts. Maybe this is because of his interest in Sufi, the mystical side of Islam. He says this self-control means that his enemies never know what he's thinking. If Gusto could see, he might be surprised by the number of security men who follow his every move. They follow my every move too. I think they think I'm a spy. Coming to live at the palace was hard at first for his wife Nuria and their family. Two of his 4 daughters live here. Yeni and the youngest Ina, who is still at school.
Ini Mozart, Gus, yang punya Mitsui Uchida. Ada 4.
Ya.
Lain-lain ini kelihatannya. Ini ada. Saya taruh di bungkusan ini aja. Dari Hong Kong kemarin.
Itu rumah jalan depan antum itu rusak semua ya?
Iya. Sudah saya beritahu Pak Sutioso, sekarang lagi diperbaiki. Laisa fil imkan ahsam mimmakan lah, kira-kira begitu ya. Sudah ini yang terbaik. Nah ini dia bilang harusnya Gus Dur harus segera melakukan clean break dari masa lalu dengan tindakan yang real maupun simbolik dalam menegakkan hukum. Jadi siapa yang bersalah harus segera dihukum. Apa yang dilakukan saat ini tak sesuai dengan konsumsi psikologi politik umum sehingga rakyat mempersepsikan pemerintahan Gus Dur sama saja dengan Habibie atau Soeharto saat menjadi presiden. Gus Dur harus secara tegas melakukan tindakan yang bersifat menyalahkan mereka yang pertama kali menimbulkan masalah di berbagai wilayah.
From inside the palace, it's hard to believe that the country is in turmoil. Even the student demonstrations going on outside the palace gates can hardly be heard.
Bahasa yang satu, bahasa kebenaran, bukan bahasa kebohongan. Hidup rakyat. Yang kita inginkan adalah Gus Dur mengeliminasi atau mungkin menghilangkan kekuatan-kekuatan politis yang ada pada jenderal-jenderal, yang ada pada pengusaha-pengusaha kaya yang kaya di negeri ini, yang sampai saat ini belum diadili. Kita tidak masalah, Bapak-bapak. Masalah kita adalah orang-orang yang membuat pelanggaran hak asasi manusia di negeri ini. Orang-orang yang memerintah Bapak-bapak untuk memukuli kami. Orang meminta Pak TNI untuk menembaki di Aceh, menembaki di Priuk, dan semua pelanggaran HAM. Kita tidak pernah bermusuhan, tapi dipaksa oleh jenderal-jenderal itu untuk bermusuhan. Hingga polisi dibenci oleh masyarakat.
With the return to civilian rule, independence movements are breaking out in many parts of Indonesia. Thousands of people have been killed in Aceh, Papua, and the Moluccas. Gusto suspects that Suharto and his former generals are working behind the scenes to destabilize his government. They are worried about losing the business empires they built up during Suharto's dictatorship.
Everybody knows that I try to dismantle the power of the military in politics. But that doesn't mean that I have to demean the armed forces, that I have to demean the army. We have to differentiate between, the institution and individuals.
Have you worked out any kind of timetable about reducing the dual function of the army?
It will have to be end in after 5 years, 6 years from when I said that. From now, it's about 5 years.
Gusto has to tread warily with the army. To remain president, he must preserve their dignity. But the United Nations is pushing for Wiranto and other senior officers to be put on trial for their role in the atrocities committed in East Timor. To avoid this humiliation, the Indonesian government has set up its own commission of inquiry.
Gimana merasakannya?
Oh, enggak bisa tuh. Nah, waktu terkenalnya itu ketika dia disuruh, setelah selesai semua, dia disuruh memimpin pagelarannya kan, memimpin pagelaran. Dia lupa kalau sudah berakhir dan karena dia nggak denger, tangannya masih gini aja. Orang udah tepuk-tepuk dia masih begitu aja dia. Sampai akhirnya ada yang berdiri mendekati dia pemainnya, tahu.
Tapi kalau ke situ nggak dengar juga.
Nah,
nggak dengar juga kalau dikasih tahu. Dikasih tahu kan nggak dengar juga.
Enaknya dia main sendiri. Apa yang di kepala aja, nggak dengar di kuping.
Ya, jadi bisa mendengar tapi cuma dalam kepalanya.
Iya.
Dan imajinasi masih kuat.
Ya, kuat sekali imajinasi.
I've never quite got used to Gusto's early morning routine. Up at 4:30 to pray, and then several laps around the palace. Do you get a strong sense of what people are like? I mean, at the moment you can't see the people you're dealing with, whether you can trust them, what kind of people they are.
Yeah, as long as you trust yourself, then you see you are free to believe in somebody else. Because the first thing is that you trust in yourself. If you trust yourself, then you know that other people will not easily try to trap you. But yeah, we have to deal with those kind of people. Yeah? Not from the beginning we are suspicious. You know, that's why for me, you see, being a president means that he is the father of all the people, all the citizens. Yeah? So if you mistrust your children, it's not good.
I brought this special tea, bitter gourd tea from Vietnam. Processed. I'm going to ask him to boil it now.
Yeah?
You bring this now. Bitter gourd tea. Okay. Yeah? Try. Likes it. We get some plenty of this.
What for?
Well, it stabilizes you, they say. Bitter gourd stabilizes you. Especially for sugar too, they say.
We have to differentiate between it. Indeed. Hello, ada? Okay.
If you attempt to understand Gus, you'll never understand him. You can't really, you really can't. And people say Gus comes, a topic goes round it. It's because I understand that he's assessing your accessibility, your ability to assess the topic. So how do you see this next 16 days, Gus? What do you plan to achieve? The 16 days when you travel like that?
Well, first thing is that, you know, I would like to attract, those leaders to push for investment in Jakarta. Second thing is that by going away, I will stress the territorial integrity of Indonesia.
People are amazed. The country is in turmoil, the loyalty of the army is still in doubt, and Gusto has decided to go away on an overseas trip. He wants to show the world that there's a new government in power and that the old corrupt regime is gone.
Semalam, Ibu nggak dengar ya dipanggilin? Gimana kita teriakin? Istri, mama istri gimana?
Oh enggak.
Aduh, ditarik-tarik. Mama istri kita kan semalam kan?
Enggak.
Oh, enggak. Tadi malam si siapa tuh?
Kapan benar?
Adiknya Lesus itu.
Silakan.
What people don't understand is that Gusto has a deep belief that he is spiritually protected and that he will survive no matter what. Despite the fact that Gustor is leaving internal security in the hands of his police chief and Vice President Megawati Sukarno Putri, all eyes are on General Wiranto. There are rumours of a revolt. He and other senior officers are being investigated for human rights violations in East Timor. The prospect of putting army officers on trial is a daring initiative, to say the least. Whether or not General Wiranto will remain loyal to Gustor's government will be a key factor in determining the future of Indonesia.
صبحكم الله بالخير. كيف الحال؟ طيبين إن شاء الله. أنستم وشرفتم بلادنا.
Saleh Kamil is the head of the Al Baraka group, the biggest group in Saudi Arabia, and he is also the chairman of the Association of Islamic Banks. So because of this, and we had a long talk about how to begin again in Indonesian economy.
While in Saudi Arabia, Gustor went on a pilgrimage to Mecca, the spiritual center of Islam.
Pak Wiranto, saya telepon. Wiranto, apa orang-orang Timur yang pro independence ya, itu lagi nongkrong di apa itu namanya di Cengkareng 1, nggak bisa berangkat karena kapalnya di stop oleh Departemen Perhubungan, pesawatnya Red Cross. Oh iya, itu insya Allah. Jadi aturlah supaya kalau nggak bisa pesawat itu berangkat ya kapal terbang Hercules. Yang nganterin Auri, ya apa ya pinjemin daripada nanti dibunuh aja taras satu orang ini kita ribut kan. Ya Gus, saya jalan. Cuma mau tanya Gus dari mana dapatnya. Lalu kalau saya nggak tahu, nggak usah jadi presiden. Dia ketawa, sopret.
In, and the situation back in Indonesia is now extremely volatile. The Commission of Inquiry is about to announce its findings. General Wiranto's future remains in the balance. There are reports of generals holding secret meetings in Jakarta.
We just read in the newswire about the rumors of a coup in Jakarta. What about this?
Oh no, there is no coup. I just phoned Mrs. Megawati. There is no such thing like that.
Okay, thank you.
Did the Americans get wind of a coup plot? Wahid played down Holbrook's statement, saying, "I don't think there will be a coup." But as the government investigation into military abuses in East Timor closes in on former Armed Forces Commander Wiranto, the general seems less worried about reform than survival. He and his allies reportedly are terrified that their bloodied reputations will be further smeared. One Wiranto ally warned darkly that soldiers are going to be upset if the commission continues to prosecute the army. Wiranto's close aide, Majan Sudrajat, said the military did not recognize Wahid as its commander and that he had no right to interfere in military affairs. But Jakarta's coup worries may not be over yet.
Elizabeth Weymouth is the daughter of Catherine Graham, publisher of the Washington Post, which broke the Watergate story.
How do you do, Mr. President? It's such an honor to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
You know, I read all the president's men.
Woodward and Bernstein.
Woodward and Bernstein. So I was, you know, very, you know, intrigued by many points that both raised, but, you know, without answer, but I forgot what now, so long time ago.
It was a big decision for my mother, you know, whether to go ahead and print or not, you know, because she had to decide, and the president was threatening her. But anyway, turning to the subject of your country, since I know you're very busy, do you plan to scale back the influence of the military and raise the profile of your parliament during your presidency, Mr. President?
Oh, yes, yes. You know that now, by this time, you see, two things happen in the country. First one is the results of the inquiry committee on the National Commission on Human Rights as on the general's role in the East Timor right after the plebiscite or before that. See, it's announced now. The committee described the man as Wiranto, put the name there. So I said, okay, continue, please continue. So then when I go back to the country, then we'll ask him to resign because of this. That's one thing.
Wait, you said that when you go back to the country, they'll ask General Wiranto to resign?
Yes.
Because of the findings of the Commission of Inquiry?
Yeah.
And will he do it?
I think so. I mean that all the military now, you see, understand that, you see, we mean serious things when we said that, you see, individuals should face trial.
Wow.
Second thing also is that by this time, it's already issued now, today also, that you see that former President Suharto is called before the court.
Wow.
So it's a hectic day there.
Anyway, it has not been announced, but it is going. It is underway to the announcement.
It's going to be announced?
Yeah, very soon. But, you know, President give you inside information.
It's very nice of the President.
Yeah.
Every journalist's dream.
Oh.
I see. So you really have your hands full. But would something like firing General Wiranto, could that possibly spark off military actions?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you know, those soldiers understand that it is easy for them to grab power, but after that it's difficult, yeah, to overcome the protest, the demonstrations, and the counter plots from other generals as well. So, you know that I don't think there will be that kind of steps taken by the so-called critical elements of the armed forces.
I can't begin to thank you enough for allowing me to come and talk to you. I hope you'll allow me to come and see you in your country, perhaps.
I would strongly suggest with regard to the inside information, not to quote the President, but you may just say reliable sources close to the President. Is that right?
Well, the President said it.
Only for that thing.
But only the inside information about Wiranto and Suharto.
But I can't say it.
But you must want
He said he